Hi there, Holistretch fan. This is Francis. In our family, we have a lot of therapists. We have physical therapists, we have massage therapists, we have assisted stretch therapists, we have energy work therapists, all different kinds of work where we're working with bodies, all under the umbrella of Bodywork. And so what I would love to offer for you is stretches to reverse the tension that you may have in your body from practicing bodywork on a daily basis or on a regular basis. We tend to get really tight hips because we're moving all the time. We're lunging, we're moving into our body work, but we're grounding ourselves with our legs. So our hips are gonna feel tight. Sometimes our shoulders, we forget to bring our shoulders back, and so we can get shoulder tension here. We can get tension in the wrists and the fingers. So I'm gonna show you some stretches you can do on a massage table, which is ideal because you get leverage, or you can do them all off a massage table as well, or just literally on top of your table. So I'm gonna show you both, where you could do on the table and off the table, and hopefully it'll reverse any tension that you have in your body and support you with your body mechanics during your practice. To begin, we will start by reaching over the table. This is a really great stretch for chest opening, for opening up the pectoralis major, minor. And so you can walk your legs as far or as close to the table as feels good and as you get a good stretch. If you're not on a table, or if you're literally on top of the table, you can just get on your knees and come forward like puppy dog pose and open your arms this way. Next is bending at the elbows. This is so great for getting into the triceps and opening up these muscles, especially after assisted stretching someone. We use a lot of these little arm muscles that can pull on our neck and create head tension. So when we can open this up, we open up the chest, we open up behind the chest, and even in the lungs. Let's come out of that and we'll go into a lunge. So this table was a little bit high. Normally my massage table is maybe a couple inches lower, but if you're on a table, you can bring one leg up and then just lean in until you feel that stretch in the hip flexor. Same can be done on top of the table. Instead, you will just get into a low lunge and lean into the hip flexor here. Opening up the hip flexor is so great if you've been standing all day long working on people. Obviously, our hip flexors get super tight and also can create tension in the psoas. Next, we'll move into pigeon, so bringing the foot across the body and then leaning forward. This is great for opening up the hips, of course. And if you're doing this on a table, you can just simply move your foot across the same way and lean into it. I like this one on the table too because it just gets a different angle. You can move your angle. It's a little easier for me to move my leg in this position if I want to move the knee a little further away from me or a little closer. And this is super great if I'm waiting in between clients. I could just do a really quick little hip stretch on the table here. To work into the stretch even deeper and start to get into the upper body, we're about to slide the right arm underneath. So if you have your left arm up, you want the right arm underneath. And this will give you a little bit of a spinal twist. This is also great to open up the deltoids. Relax that shoulder and open up the neck. I love this stretch because it gets the upper body and the lower body. And of course, if you're on top of the table, do the same thing. Just slide the arm down. And when I'm on top of the table, sometimes I even like to grip onto the edge and pull the scapula open. Coming back up, we'll go ahead and switch sides. So opening the right side now, opening up the hip flexor on the left. And same thing if you're on top of the table too. Or on the floor, either way. This is the position, and this is a great way to start to open up the psoas as well. And when we release the psoas, we release fear too, because that's where we hold a lot of tension, fear, stress is in the psoas. And so this stretch can actually help you build confidence, self-assuredness, safety. Let's go ahead and come into Pigeon and melt down, really feeling this deep into the hip. How parallel the foot is to your hip doesn't really matter. Everyone is at a different flexibility level, so really just feel a deep stretch in the hip. I like to try and make sure that my hip stays down, and then from here, moving the leg open a little more. When you're hanging off the table, you can actually just back your body up in order to open that leg up. Sliding the opposite arm, the left arm, all the way through to stretch open the scapula and that left shoulder. This pose is really the opposing forces that we're using as when we work on someone. So if we are extending the leg when we're lunging forward, right now we're flexing it, we're bending it. When we are tensing and tightening the neck, right now we're relaxing it, we're surrendering it. When we're used to lifting and holding with our shoulders and arms, right now we're stretching it and reaching it. So this is really opening up the muscles when these muscles are normally very tense. Coming back up now, we're going to lay on our back. And if you're on top of a table, see if you can slide your outside leg off the table. So if you're on your right side, you want to slide that right leg down off the table until you feel it opening in the hip flexor. From here, you can grasp onto your elbows right up above your head. This can help give you a nice opening in the psoas on the right side and release the hip flexor and the quad. By holding onto the elbows, you also release the upper back. And once you feel relaxed and adjusted in here, feel free to lift the left leg or just bring the left knee out or even hold it into your chest to get a deeper opening there. This pose really takes the pressure off the low back as well. So if we tend to hunch up or curl up during our bodywork practice, this will help to flatten the spine and release the QLs. And if you're feeling flexible in here, feel free to do a half happy baby and open up the groin. Nice deep breath, and then we'll bring up both knees together and move on to the other side. So if you are not using a table, you can continue doing this stretch. Do the same stretch. You just won't be able to go as deep because you won't be able to release your leg. Or you could do this on a big ball, for example, and do the hip opener like that. But on a table, it's way easier. You literally just lay, relax the leg, release the opposite leg, and feel that hip flexor expand, open up, feel the psoas release, and then the upper back. So good. Whenever you feel like you've stretched out in this position, go ahead and move that opposite knee. You can squeeze it up to chest or just let it lay flat. It's nice to hold stretches when we've been moving around a lot and our body just needs to relax and be still. If you've had a very busy work day and you're running around, one thing that you can do to balance yourself out is to slow down. So having these nice long holds can really just relax the body and help to bring it back to peace. Very nice, squeezing the knee back up to chest. And then we'll move to upper body. So jumping on the table or staying on the ground, what we're going to do is come into an all fours position and then slide the left fingertips towards your knees and lean. We can lean back, and the more you lean back, obviously the deeper the stretch you'll feel. And you'll feel that all along the extenders, all the way along the inside of the arm and even into the shoulder as well. We'll go ahead and bend the hand the other way now. So fingertips facing you, but palm up. And this will open up the flexors, the outside of the arm, the forearm. And then I like to round my upper spine a little bit. This gets a bit deeper into it. Dropping the head and neck. Next, we'll move into a compression for the forearm for using our fingers and our wrists a lot. And this is going to feel amazing. So just bring the arm down and slide the knees on top of the forearm. So your hand is pressing down and you're about a 90-degree angle from your legs, your shins. And you can choose to put one leg on top or both legs on top of your arm. And then you move around a little bit to massage that forearm.
This can be extremely painful for some of you guys, so take it easy. Start with one knee and gradually apply pressure and see how much you can take. And you could even try and open up your fingers to stretch them out and then relax them. And we'll go ahead and come into a pectoral stretch. So we want to come on the back and we're going to let the arm hang over the table and come into a twist. So obviously if you're on the floor, then you won't twist as much with your arm on the floor. And again, that's why I like the leverage of the table here. See how deeply you could relax that arm and just let gravity drop it down. Opening the chest. So nice, so deep. And then you can expand the fingers as well, and then relax the hand. And then of course you're also getting a great spinal twist. What a great relaxation after standing and practicing all day. Shaking the hand out, we'll go ahead and do the same thing on the other side. So starting with the tabletop pose, we'll slide the right fingertips towards the knees, palm down, opening up the inside of the arm, and then experiment with your neck and your upper back to see what gives you a deeper stretch. You may need to bend forward a little bit, maybe turn your neck a little, just play with it because we'll be tight in different areas. And you will likely feel that stretch radiating all the way up your shoulder, into your neck, into your fingertips. Sliding around the other way, bending at the wrist and bringing the bottom part of your hand on the ground, palm up, and then leaning back to get a deep stretch. And shaking that hand out, we'll go ahead and give ourselves a little massage here. So sliding that arm underneath your knees, one knee at a time or two, whatever you can handle. And we'll go ahead and massage the knees and top of the forearm, rocking side to side, up and down. It's nice and slow. See how much you can relax that arm. Sliding up out of that, shaking it out. We're going to open up the pec on the other side, of course. So hanging that arm over and then twisting. The best. This is one of my faves for sure. And making some wrist circles. All these little twisting movements helps to clear your energy field too. So really breathing through it, letting it clear. Finally, you can come into plow pose, or if that feels like too much, then you can just squeeze your knees into your chest. So I love plow pose because it opens up the thymus area of the back. So the upper back areas where we carry a lot of other people's energy. This is how you release the weight off your shoulders. You come into a plow pose. And if it seems like a lot, you don't have to go so far down. You can come into shoulder stand to try it out first. Or again, squeeze your knees into chest and rock side to side if that feels easier and more gentle for your body. And roll back down. Thank you guys so much for joining me. It's been a pleasure. I will see you in the next video, and feel free.